question leaves a trail. Every story hides a clue. Truth is waiting in the silence. Come take the dive, I'll walk with you. Maine mirror, where truth comes into view.
Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a really fascinating paper trail of municipal governance from the July 7th Belgrade Town Agenda packet. We're going to look at this exactly as if you're seeing it for the very first time. I absolutely love digging into primary documents because they offer this totally unfiltered view of how a town actually runs behind the scenes. Today, we're taking a strictly objective, evidence-first approach to a single, jam-packed evening in local government. We're going to look at audits, some serious citizen action, and legal boundaries. And throughout all of this, we'll clearly distinguish between the documented facts, the legal opinions, and, well, just the daily grind of running a municipality. To get our bearings, let's build a clear chronological timeline so you can see exactly how these key municipal decisions evolved. The story really kicks off at the end of the year, December 31st, 2025, which marks the close of the town's financial audit period. Fast forward a bit to June 23rd, 2026. That's when a citizen petition regarding reserve funds gets officially certified. Just a week later, on July 1st, an emergency legal review of that very petition is issued by outside counsel. All of these converging timelines lead us directly to our climax, the July 7th, 2026 Select Board meeting, where all these issues literally land on the table at the exact same time. So here is our agenda for today. First, unpacking the 2025 town audit. Second, the citizen reserve cap petition. Third, outside counsel's legal review. Fourth, routine spending in town warrants. And finally, unanswered questions for the future. Let's dive in. Looking at the sheer volume of new business stacked up on this meeting agenda, you get a perfect snapshot of local governance in action. The Select Board had to tackle everything from a formal auditor's presentation to a heated citizen petition, all in a single evening. It's a real balancing act between high-level financial policy and the immediate practical needs of the community. Section 1. Unpacking the 2025 Town Audit.
Before we start throwing numbers around, we really need to translate a key financial term into plain English, mostly because it is the absolute center of this entire governance debate. The unassigned fund balance is essentially the town's financial cushion. It's their rainy day fund. While the documents show the town reported about $8.1 million in total governmental funds, a lot of that money is legally restricted or already promised to specific projects. So the unassigned balance is just the money in the general fund that hasn't been earmarked for anything specific yet.
And here is where things get interesting. At the end of 2025, the town officially held nearly $3 million in those unassigned reserves, specifically $2,995,328. This exact figure is absolutely crucial because it represents 21.42% of the town's annual expenditures. According to the audit presentation, this pretty healthy balance was achieved partly because things like property tax collections, interest earnings, and service charges actually exceeded projections. Plus, spending in several departments came in completely under budget. Now, taking a look at the official records, they document a clean, or what's called an unmodified, financial opinion. But at the exact same time, they log material weaknesses in internal controls, things like payroll and credit card reconciliations that really need addressing. An unmodified opinion is basically the best news a town can get. It means the financial statements fairly and accurately present the town's financial position. However, it's super important to note that the auditors separated this clean opinion from their findings on internal operations. The documents explicitly call out significant deficiencies when it comes to the segregation of duties and bank reconciliations. To put that 21.42% figure into perspective, we have to look at the 5-year trend. And surprisingly, that 2025 figure is actually down from past highs. Back in 2021 and 2022, the town was holding roughly a third of its annual expenditures in unassigned reserves. It took a significant dip in 2023 and 2024 before climbing back up to the current 21.42%. Placing these numbers in a historical context like this is exactly what allows us to see the bigger picture. It's an ongoing fiscal trend, not just some isolated event.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, the Citizen Reserve Cap Petition.
So, in June 2026, residents decided to take action. They submitted a citizen petition regarding municipal spending, which was officially certified with 276 signatures. That easily surpasses the 197 required. If you look closely, you can actually see the red ink from the deputy clerks certifying the names on this page. This isn't just some abstract idea floating around town. It is a legally certified demand from a mobilized segment of the voting public, physically placed right into the town's governance machinery. The crucial point here is what the petition is actually asking for. It formally demands capping those unassigned reserves at 15%. Remember that 21.42% level reported by the auditors? Yeah, this sets up a direct, undeniable conflict. The petition also proposed language requiring written public notice, detailing exactly how spending proposals impact property taxes, and it even attempted to cap property tax increases at the Consumer Price Index. But make no mistake, that 15% reserve cap is the real flashpoint here, directly challenging the current fiscal strategy detailed in the 2025 audit.
Which brings us to Section 3, Outside Counsel's Legal Review.
This right here captures the precise tension between public demand and legal procedure. On one side, we have the democratic will of 276 registered voters. On the other, an email from Bernstein's sure attorneys outlining the very rigid structures of Maine state law. And the Select Board, well, they're caught right in the middle, having to weigh the legal viability of this petition against the clear, documented intent of their constituents.
Legal counsel actually advised that the Select Board could reasonably refuse the petition altogether. As attorney Grady R. Burns wrote, the language, quote, appears to be imposing a referendum requirement for budget matters that conflicts with state law. To explain this in plain English, Maine law generally leaves it up to municipal officers to decide the method of voting for town meeting matters. Because the citizen petition tried to force all bond questions over a certain amount to a secret ballot referendum, the lawyers stated this oversteps the town's authority. The really key takeaway from this document, though, is that the legal opinion doesn't take a side on the 15% reserve cap itself. It strictly addresses the procedural conflicts with state election laws.
All right, let's shift gears to Section 4, Routine Spending and Town Warrants.
Even with all this high-level policy debate going on, the agenda package shows that routine expenditures have to keep moving forward. It just goes to prove how regular municipal operations are constantly drawing on the town's larger $8.1 million budget. I mean, while citizens and lawyers debate the intricacies of reserve caps, the reality is the town's vehicles are aging, roads absolutely need treatment for the coming winter, and of course, municipal employees still need to be paid. The gears have to keep turning.
Taking a closer look, these specific memos document a $72,000 truck request right alongside a winter sand bid that's rising from $15.95 last year up to $17.75. It shows the undeniable real-world cost of municipal services. You can see the economic pressures perfectly illustrated here. The facility's truck reserve balance is noted at just over $100,000, meaning this single Ford F-350 will consume nearly 3/4 of that specific fund. Meanwhile, the rising cost per yard of sand and salt is a perfect everyday example of inflation impacting basic town maintenance.
And then we have this officially signed warrant which explicitly proves the authorization of over $30,000 in routine payroll outlays for just a single pay period. Now, I want to connect this back to something we saw a little earlier. Remember the auditor's report pointing out those material weaknesses in payroll reconciliations? Well, this document is exactly the type of record they are talking about. Securing the processes behind these weekly multi-thousand-dollar authorizations is precisely what the audit flagged for improvement. It all ties together.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, Unanswered Questions for the Future.
So when we step back, what has this entire paper trail firmly established? Well, we know for a fact the town holds a 21.42% unassigned reserve. We know 276 citizens actively want that capped at 15%. And we know outside lawyers have flagged serious procedural issues with how that petition is written. Based solely on these documents, we are left waiting to see whether the Select Board will risk legal challenges just to honor the citizen petition, and what steps they're actually going to take to secure their payroll reconciliations moving forward. The lawyers explicitly noted that declining to place the article on the warrant could lead to a legal challenge. So the ultimate question the evidence leaves us with is this. In the face of certified citizen action and conflicting legal advice, how does a local government choose its next step? And who ultimately holds the power to decide the town's financial future? It's a fascinating situation to watch unfold.